Greetings, YouTube. The doctor is in. Dr. Urias Papers here, coming at you with another commentary on Dungeons and Dragons. And today we are going to talk about the spell Find Steed. We're going to look at the Legacy version compared to the 2024 version. We're going to compare and contrast both versions. There are some things that are better in the new one. There are some things that they took away, which could be worse or could be a nerf or whatever you want to define it as. And there are some things that are still the same. But first, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a question or comment. And don't forget to hit that notification bell. All right, so here is the Legacy version of Find Steed. Back in the day when I originally reviewed this, I gave this one a B+. It is a second level spell. It's a casting time of 10 minutes. It is not concentration, range of 30 feet. Instantaneous conjuration. You summoned a spirit that assumed the form of an unusually intelligent, strong, and loyal steed. So you got a warhorse, a pony, a camel, an elk, or a mastiff. The steed has the statistics of the chosen form, though it is celestial, fey, or fiend, your choice. It's got a intelligence of 5 or less. It becomes a 6, and it gains the ability to understand one language of your choice. Probably common. The steed serves as a mount both in combat and out, and you have an instinctive bond with it. While mounted on your steed, you can make any spell you cast that targets only you also target your steed. I want to read that again because that one's an important one. While mounted on your steed, you can make any spell you cast that targets only you also target your steed. So that's an important one. So if the steed drops to 0, it disappears. You can also dismiss it at any time as an action. In either case, casting the spell again summons the same steed restored to its maximum hit points. And then you can communicate with it telepathically for up to a mile. You can't have more than one. As an action, you can release the steed from its bond at any time, causing it to disappear. Okay, so that was the Legacy version. Now here is the new version, which is quite a bit different. And like I said, there are some things that are better, and there are some things that got taken away, which could be construed as a nerf or worse. But in all actuality, I think that this spell is better than the previous one. And they kind of took some aspects of Greater Steed and Find Steed, Greater Find Steed and Find Steed, and wrapped them together in one spell. So I am going to give this one an A-. Still a second level spell. It takes one action to cast it. One action. Legacy version took 10 minutes. So you can do this a lot. Still has a range of 30 feet. Still a conjuration spell. No concentration either. So that's a biggie. Biggie. One action versus 10-minute casting. You summon an otherworldly being that appears as a loyal steed in an unoccupied space within your choice within range. The creature uses the otherworldly steed stat block. So they're big. 2024 is big on these stat blocks. If you already have a steed from this spell, the steed is replaced by the new one. So that goes along kind of with this last sentence, that you can't have more than one. All right. Steed resembles a large, rideable animal of your choice, such as a horse, such as, we're going to emphasize that, a horse, camel, dire wolf, or elk. You can make it whatever you want. Those are only examples. Whenever you cast a spell, choose the steed's creature type, celestial, fey, or fiend, and those things have things that they can do in the stat block, which determines certain traits in the stat block. Steed is an ally to you and your allies. In combat, it shares your initiative, and it functions as a controlled mount. If you have the incapacitated condition, the steed takes its turn immediately after yours and acts independently, focusing on protecting you. The steed disappears if it drops to 0. That is the same as the other spell. Or if you die. That little bit right there was not in the last spell. When it disappears, it leaves behind anything it was wearing or carrying. So if you put barding on this, it's going to fall to the ground. If you cast a spell again, you decide whether to summon the steed that disappeared or a different one. And you can upcast this spell, and there's certain things in the block, the stat block, that go up if you upcast it. Okay, so big thing that's missing is while mounted on your steed, you can make any spell that you cast that targets only you also target your steed. That is not in this spell anymore. That's a big difference. Now, there's a few other things that are pretty good. I think all in all, the additions that they made to this have made this spell better, not worse than the Legacy version. So first off, your steed's going to start with an armor class of 12. Okay? These guys here had an armor class of 11, an armor class of 10, 9, 10, and 12. So already, right off the bat, the AC is better. It is going to have a minimum of 25 hit points, 10 per spell level. It's a second level spell, so that's 20 plus the 5. So 25 hit points. The steed has a number of hit dice equal to the spell's level, so it's got 2 hit dice. And then its hit points are going to go up. So if you cast this as a third level spell, it's going to have 35 hit points. Well, what'd you get before? You got 19 was, I think, the most, 11, 15, 13, or 5. So right off the bat, it's got a better armor class and more hit points. It has a speed of 60 feet. Flat out, just minimum. Mastiff, I don't want to open these up, but I think not all of these were 60 feet. I think they were mostly 50 feet. So the speed is better. And if you cast this spell at 4th level or higher, it automatically can fly. That's another one. It's got some really good stats. It just flat out gets an 18 for strength, and it flat out gets a 14 for constitution. That's pretty good. And it's got a 6. Telepathy still happens. You've got this life bond. So when you regain hit points from a level 1 or better spell, the steed regains the same number of hit points if you're within 5 feet of it. So that is kind of like this, but not really. You're still not sharing spells with it. So like if you cast Shield of Faith on yourself or something like that, the steed would get it. That is not the case. But it does share healing, which is nice. It has a slam attack. It only gets 1. Bonus equals your spell attack modifier. It's 1d8 plus the spell's level of radiant, psychic, or necrotic damage. Oh, and I forgot to mention this is usable by paladins, as is this one. So then it gets this little bonus action thing, but they're all only once per long rest. So if it's a fiend, it gets the Fell Glare, which wisdom saving throw against a creature within 60 feet, or the creature is frightened. That's pretty good. You get the Fey Step if it is a Fey steed. Steed teleports along with its rider to an unoccupied space of your choice within 60 feet. I think that is also pretty good. And then it gets Healing Touch, which is the Celestial. And this is just okay. 1 creature within 5 feet of the steed regains a number of hit points equal to 2d8 plus the spell's level. So it's a minimum of 2d8 plus 2. That's okay. That's like an emergency heal if you need it. I like the Fell Glare and the Fey Step better. But, with the Fell Glare, it's a saving throw. If they make that saving throw, you can't use it again, and you've used it, and it's gone until you make a long rest. So the Fey Step thing, I think, is probably the best one. These are kind of emergency situation actions, and that one seems to me to be the most useful. That, if you get grappled or you end up in a place where you need to get out, you can always teleport, and it's 60 feet. That's pretty good. So all in all, I think this spell is better. You can put equipment on this, but just remember, if it goes to 0, all that stuff drops to the ground. Now, you can put barding on it, and there is a thing in here for barding in the 2024 Player's Handbook. It's any armor type of the armor table in this chapter can be purchased as barding. The cost is 4 times the normal cost. So if you wanted to put plate armor, giving an armor class of 18, and your steed can take it because it's got a strength of 18, that is going to cost 4 times as much. So it's going to cost 6,000 gold pieces to get plate armor barding, which is going to be really heavy because it's probably 4 times as heavy as this. So it's going to be 260 pounds. That's pretty heavy. And it did say it follows the mount rules, and the mount rules didn't really change very much. It's still half a you can mount the creature within 5 feet or dismount. Doing so costs half your movement. And it goes on your initiative. It already said that. It moves on your turn as you direct it, and it only has 3 action options, which are dash, disengage, and dodge. A controlled mount can move and act on the turn, and an independent mount just does its thing. So, and then it still follows the same kind of fall off rule. So, but this steed goes 60 feet, and if you cast it at 4th level, it's flying. So if you cast it at 4th level, it's going to have a base armor class of 14. It's going to have base hit points of 45, and it's going to have a fly speed of 60 feet, which I think is awesome. Just totally awesome. All right, that is what I have for everybody today. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I will catch everybody